people are always being told. And we like to think it's because we're being forced to do loads of stuff, but I don't think so. I think there's a lot of compliance that actually goes on in people's behaviour. Because I think people want to be told what to do, partly because the pace of life now is so frenetic and people feel overwhelmed and confused. So they want to be told what to do. And this isn't going to be a particularly fashionable opinion, but there are a lot of stupid people in the world. There are a lot of people that are not that intelligent, I'm afraid, and I don't want to sound down on my fellow man, but when you observe some people's behaviour, you think, that's really, really odd, or really stupid, or really counterproductive. Now, I don't live my life that way, well, not often anyway. For a long time, I've held the view that entrepreneurs are actually explorers, okay? Curious, inquisitive, and I think fundamentally at the heart of entrepreneurship is actually establishing better, more efficient, more effective ways of doing things, finding solutions. And if you, no matter which side of the political aisle you are on the subject of COVID, whether you think the measures were necessary or not, obviously, I don't think they were necessary at all. And there was a huge amount of manipulation that went on. But if you observe people's behaviour in that time, there was obviously a lot of fear going on and being inculcated in people, but there was a lot of biddable behaviour, people listening to the measures and wanting quite forcefully to make sure that people were behaving, and again, that's not me either. No, I've always been a bit of a rebel, basically. I do apologise, by the way, if my voice sounds like it's all the way down here. But my boyfriend and I, whilst we were travelling, we were nursing a little bit of a bunged up nose and a little bit of a chesty cough. And I'm now in the stage where it's nearly over. But it's the moment where you think, oh my God, it's been almost a week now. Will this ever clear? And I know that whenever I have that thought, it's a day or two and I feel completely back to normal, because I haven't actually had a cold for quite a long time, actually. But North Yorkshire, it's a very beautiful landscape, but it's not known for its tropical climes. It was perfect weather for the sightseeing that we were doing, all the various castles and stately homes. But this is a part of the same thing, that when my man and I go out and do these things, it's because we've decided actually to do them. We've taken the initiative ourselves. We've done the research. We've looked up various locations and seen, what attractions and things and points of historical interest and outstanding beauty that we can go to. But one of the things, actually, I wrote about this in my blog post this morning, earlier this afternoon, because it's been a bit of a slow day today, I have to admit. But one of the things that I see on Twitter a lot is people saying, and in podcasts, lots of people share this view that, in school, teachers and educators should be teaching us this, this, and this. And I listen to it now, and for a long time I was undecided, but I look at that situation now and think, well, no, they shouldn't be, because that's not the purpose of school, actually, of any of the institutions that we're put through as youngsters. Well, no, the purpose of going to school is not to learn stuff, because especially now, you can go on to YouTube and watch maybe even one video and you can teach yourself whatever subject that you desire. Now, the point of, again, this idea of entrepreneurs being explorers, well, the whole point is that only a handful of people will do that. And I do count myself certainly in the number of entrepreneurially spirited people, but we look for our own answers, and we deploy our curiosity in order to find out the information that is not put out in schools. Because the point of education, the point of educational institutions like schools and like universities, is actually to mold people into being compliant, willing to accept whatever arbitrary rule is made up by the powers that be at whatever time that we're living. That's the point of school. It's not to teach you things. For hundreds and even thousands of years, there were no schools, and people learnt things through experience. They learnt things through their parents, and it wasn't quite so formal as it is now, where you are legally required, to go through these things. So me personally, I see it as a distinction between two different paths. One path is freedom, the other compliance, and it's up to you to decide which one you wish to follow.